Good morning, everybody, and welcome to FPL Connect. This is the show for the masses of the FPL community. Yes, this is whereby we compete at the highest level of the Fantasy Premier League game. Yeah, it is. So it is game week 14, fellas, and what are we looking for this game week? So in this episode of the game week, we are looking mostly at those low-owned or those differential players that can really make a huge difference for us in this game week. Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to this game week. So stay tuned there. Don't go anywhere, guys. It's about to go down. Alright, guys. So if you had a bad game week 13, don't worry. You are still in this. There are more like 25 game weeks still to go. So we are still in this. If you had a good game week in game week 13, then you are also still in this, because now you can just keep building up on those green arrows like we're doing. We're slowly building up on them. So let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. So for this episode, as I've said, we are going to look at the best low-owned players for game week 14. And as you can see the cover for my guy, it is Olise. You know that Olise is like one of those low-owned players that is very good to have in your team at the moment. So the problem is, are you brave enough to go and get these boys? Because for instance, Olise is up against West Ham, and we know that West Ham are like clear favorites in this fixture. So these players are low owned because not many people have the balls to go and get them. Like those balls to just go and get. Yeah, like most people don't have this. That's why they are also low owned. But one other thing why they are low owned is because they are not as consistent as the others are. That is why even if you get them, you have to know that you are getting them for like 2 or 3 game weeks or just 1 game week even, and then they make that huge difference, and then you jump onto someone else, or you just put them back on the bench or something. But needless to say, guys, these players are also very important, because at the end of the day, we need the points. It is the points that define what you do. So if you can get the maximum points this game week, they make hella difference. Like they make a lot of difference. So let's jump onto it, guys, and not waste any time. We start off with the fixtures for this game week. So in this game week, guys, we have Arsenal up against Wolves, Brentford up against Luton. So Brentford are really the favorites up against Luton. So we should have a differential player in there, like a low-owned player, as well as Arsenal against Wolves. I think Arsenal are still more like the favorites. So we can also get a differential player in Arsenal, can we? Well, just stick around and then we'll see. We have Burnley up against Sheffield United. That game can really go either way. So I really don't want to invest my feelings into that one. Then we have Nottingham Forest with Everton. So this one can really go either way as well. But then I still think Nottingham Forest can actually edge a goal into Everton, and also vice versa. So maybe we will have a differential player in there. Let's just wait and see, guys. And then we have the Newcastle and the Man U game. Like that's a top game for the week, I think. Like that's a top game for that day. So I won't really get much into it, because top games are just difficult. Like they are just difficult, and unexpected things can just happen in the top games. Like in the past top games, we saw Chelsea whooping Spurs 4-1. You know what I mean? So let's keep going, guys. And then we have Bournemouth with Aston Villa. That can also be a tricky fixture for Aston Villa away. Then you have Chelsea with Brighton. That's also a tricky fixture, I feel. Like that's really a tricky fixture. But then both these teams, I think they can concede. We have Liverpool against Fulham. That should be an easy one for Liverpool, and maybe we can find a low-owned player in Liverpool, And then we have West Ham against Crystal Palace. I've talked about Olise. So is there someone from West Ham, though? And then you have Man City and Spurs. That's also a high game. That's also like a big game, bro. So I'm not going to get invested in a big game about low-owned players, because we know that most of the time these high-owned players just shine in the, like in this quality games, guys. Like in these quality games, they just shine, guys. So alright, let's go on to our first player, guys. Our first player is Gabriel Jesus. Like from the first fixture only, it's Gabriel Jesus. He plays for Arsenal, if you don't know. Of course you do. Of course you know. So his price is £7.8 for a striker. So that's not really bad, considering the likes of like Watkins are on 8.4. The likes of Haaland are just up there. So he's not bad. He's not bad. He hasn't had sufficient game time actually. He hasn't had any sufficient game time. As you can see, his form is like he will give you 2.5 points per match because of that insufficient game time. He's selected by 2.3%, only 2.3%, so he's very low owned, guys, and he has a total bonus of two bonus points already. He's playing against Wolves, who are very poor away, with only 2 wins and 4 losses. So this guy really has the ability to hit Wolves, and also he played in the Champions League yesterday, and he was the man of the match. So what stops him from starting the game against Wolves on Saturday? Nothing really, like nothing. So if you want to bet on anyone, like this is one of those guys to just put in there and say, okay, you know what, I'm taking my transfer onto this guy, and then I'm just trusting him. I'm just putting him up there to deliver. And yeah, I bet he will. Let's go to the second player, guys. This is Matthias Jensen from Brentford. Oh yeah. So like most people are really going from Bumo. So I think he's now a high-owned player. Well, he should be a high-owned player now, because yeah, like a lot of people have really gone for him. But then we have Matthias Jensen. Like this guy is a gem, guys. This guy is just a gem in behind those numbers, in behind those like goals of Mbumo and everything. This guy is the second to Mbumo with most points in Brentford, and he's only £5.4, guys, like £1,000,000. So this guy has been, well, he's among those guys that I've always like looked forward to, like saying, I'm planning to get this guy, and apparently their fixtures are not that good. The hype on social media, on Twitter especially, like about how they're having such a good run. No, guys, their run is really not that great. Like, I think the team with the best run currently should be Liverpool. Like, they have the best run, and I don't think Brentford have a better one than Liverpool. Nah, I really don't think so. But either way, Jensen is still the guy for me. He's still the best guy to get at Brentford, and not Mbumo, just because most of you guys are already going for Mbumo. So that's why I'm thinking like, nah, I'd rather go different. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go different. So this guy is 5.4. His goals, he has 3 goals, 3 assists, and sorry, like, mind you, he is not playing every game because he got injured in this past game. But he has 3 goals, he has 3 assists. His form is 2.3. He can get you like 4.8 points per match. That's not bad, really. And then he's selected by only 2.6%, and he has totaled 8 bonus points. Imagine, 8 bonus points already. So this guy's really good, guys. This guy's really good, and he's playing against Luton with their poor away form, with only 1 win and 5 losses. So long may it rain, long may it rain. Come on, Matthias. So guys, just jump on this guy and thank me later. Alright, let's not waste any time, guys. Let's keep going. We have Gibbs White. Now this guy is what I think is a true differential. I think he's a true differential. Like, not most people will look into him, but then as soon as you see him in someone else's team, you start thinking, oh my goodness, he might hit my rank. He might hit, because he has this guy. So Gibbs White is £5.7. He plays for Nottingham Forest. He has 1 goal and 4 assists, so he's really good. He's really good with those assists, and a couple of goals should be there, I think. A couple of goals should be there, but then his side have not been really great, but they are coming again. Like they are coming back to the Nottingham Forest that started the league. I think they are coming back to that. So he has a 6.7 form with 3.5 points per match. So that's not bad. Like, that's not really bad for a player from that team. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't win most of the games because of the quality they have on the pitch, maybe. But then this guy keeps shining through, bro. He keeps shining through. So that's good. That's good. He's selected by only 1.5% of the FPL managers, only 1.5%, and that's a huge difference, guys. Like, that's a huge difference. So if he holds, you are really on a green arrow streak. You are really on a green arrow, and he has a total of 3 bonuses. Don't think it should be more than that, but then provided that he's always, or like most of the time, on the losing team, then that explains it, eh? That explains it. He's up against Everton, and Everton have conceded in their last 3 games. Like, they have conceded. So this guy is like the best guy to give an assist to anyone or to just grab a goal. So I really have that trust in him, guys. So yeah, I think he's like the most, the most good differential, because he's very low owned. He's very low owned, and he can do a lot of head. So our fourth before the last place, Luis Diaz, guys. So we have Diaz from Liverpool. So this guy is £7.4. He's quite expensive, I should say. He's £7.4, but that is because we know what he can do. We know what he can give, and he's playing against Fulham, guys. Like, Fulham have the poorest away form, with only 1 win away, guys. With only 1 win away. So I do think that apart from Salah, apart from Darwin, this guy can really do a lot of head. And with Jota out injured, he should have, a place to start there. And Darwin might now compete with Gakpo for the top spot. So this guy can really stay in there for somehow like the longer minutes, for the longer minutes. So I'll really go for him also. If I'm looking for that differential, I'll really go for him or other players as well. But then his fixture against Fulham is like the favorable fixture for Liverpool. So he is really good. So he has 3 goals. He has 1 assist. He can average you 3.3 points per match, and that was simply because he wasn't starting like most of the games. We know what happened with his father and all that. So I think now he's back. The father is also okay. So he should be back on the pitch, back on his best, doing what he likes doing, guys. So I really advise going for Luis Diaz, guys. He's owned by 6.9%. So that's, I think, the highest we've seen so far, with only 1 total bonus point. He's against Fulham, guys. Come on, he's against Fulham. So our last player, guys, he is more like a ghost. Like, he just moves so swiftly. This guy is Mohamed Kudus. Yes, he's from the West Ham United team. Like, he's from the Hammers. Exactly, that's where he's from. He's from the Hammers. He's priced at 6.6. He has 1 goal, 2 assists, and he has just arrived like recently. He hasn't been playing much game time. They have been introducing him into the team gradually, and now he's getting in there. And we see why they brought him. Because like, this guy can average you 7.3 points per match, and he's selected by only 2.7% with 4 total bonuses already. So like Kudus is really the guy. He's also the guy for us to go to, especially if you are unsure of what is happening with Bowen, or if you don't have a Bowen in your team. Then I think Kudus is like better than even Souček. So don't really go for Souček, because Souček will soon go back to to the, I think, like number 6 position or like number 8 position. So don't really go for him. I really think Kudus should be the one that you go for, especially if you don't have a Bowen in your team. Alright, guys, either way, it's a web from us. It's a web from FPL Connect. You know what to do, guys. Just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's keep pushing, guys. And yeah, it's all love this side. Don't forget that. Adios.